Welcome to the 5th Annual Crimson Awards Ceremony. Tonight is a very special night where we have the opportunity to celebrate our Crimson Award winners in a setting, an event that is unique for these student athletes. Tonight is a night dedicated solely to you, our student athletes, an opportunity for all of you to listen to the accomplishments and accolades of your peers and teammates over the past school year in one evening. We have the opportunity to celebrate 29 students tonight who have left a mark on their teams and on their legacy as student athletes who have been chosen as their program's Crimson Award winners. 29 student athletes who each come here tonight with their own experiences, their own challenges and adversities, but ultimately celebrating their successes in their respective sports. We have student athletes in this room who are conference, prep, county, and state champions, students who are multi-sport athletes, sportsmanship award winners, and 2 who are multi-sport Crimson Award winners. Students who have accomplished great things in the classroom, performing at a high level in rigorous classes. Students who have held roles in our plays and musicals, who perform in our orchestra, jazz band, choral, dance concerts, and students who will be playing their respective sport in college. With all of these accomplishments, we gather a very talented group of amazing student athletes who are the heart of the school and our athletic department, and most deserving of this award. The Crimson Award, as it will be named, goes to the player who encourages teammates and cheers on others. The athlete displays excellent character and best exemplifies the principles, standards, and ideals of Morristown-Beard School. It is presented to the athlete who, through exemplary conduct, shows the essence and spirit of MBS, and who has a strong commitment to making his or her team better. This athlete displays dedication to the team and teammates, has the best attitude, and shows exceptional leadership skills. This athlete has pride in their team and a motivational attitude that inspires others. They are dedicated to seeing the team win, but also have a consistently positive attitude even when games are lost. Crimson Award winners are effective leaders. Effective leadership is about a concept called the power of one. All it takes is one person who is committed, focused, and on a mission to spark an entire team into believing in themselves, working hard, fighting through adversity, playing with unity, and achieving some very special things. All of you tonight have been that one for your programs. I'm excited and extremely proud of my involvement in the MBS Athletic Department for the past 25 years. The biggest reason I am so proud is because of the people, the teams, the athletes, the coaches, and the family that we have assembled here tonight. Present are family members, teammates, coaches, alumni, and most importantly, Crimson fans. I am proud to be in the company of all of you this evening, especially the student athletes that we will celebrate as our Crimson Award winners, who have made key contributions in athletics at MBS and who will be receiving your program's highest award. Choosing the presenters and the order of presenters is not an easy task. So this year, in order to keep it equitable across seasons and across genders, I picked out of a hat. So I wanted to acknowledge Kevin McDonald, who is our lucky winner, who will be closing out this evening. At this time, girls tennis, Brett Michelle.
It's the first time in my life I was ever picked first for something, so thank you, Joanne, for that. Good evening, everyone. This year's Crimson Award winner, Sophie Schramm, is a 4-year member of our program and a 3-year varsity starter. Sophie has won an impressive 21 regular season matches at the varsity level in both singles and doubles in that time. As a sophomore, Sophie, along with her doubles partner Hannah Blake, rolled through the field to capture the first doubles title at the Morris County Tennis Tournament, defeating a strong Chatham team in the finals. Sophie and her partner were part of a team that upset number 8 Gill St. Bernard's in the semifinals before falling to number 1 Newark Academy in the sectional final, one of the deepest runs in team history. As a junior, Sophie moved into the singles lineup, winning 6 of 8 matches in a COVID-truncated season. Her on-court success helped her team to an undefeated season and the number 1 seed in their state bracket. In her senior season this past fall, Sophie was named captain for the team. Playing second singles, Sophie added to her career win total with victories against opponents, including division rival Villa Walsh. Always a vocal leader, Sophie used her energetic personality to keep the team relaxed and motivated, both on and off court. 21 career regular season wins, 2 division titles, a sectional final, and a first doubles county championship are the on-court achievements for Sophie. Her sportsmanship and dedication to the team and program over her 4 years at Morristown-Beard are the reason that this year's Crimson Award winner for girls tennis is Sophie Schramm. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sophie. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations, Sophie. Indoor track and field, Coach Scott McCormick.
This will actually be 2 separate awards, but we'll start with our girls team for indoor track and field. When we consider athletes who have added a lot to a team, we might initially think of those who have scored a lot of points or won a lot of medals, or we might consider those who are real leaders and help bring the team together. And if you're really lucky as a coach, you have someone who will do both. During her time on the MBS track and field team, Sophie Tannen has tried a lot of different events. When I look back at previous seasons, she has PRs in multiple sprinting, throwing, and jumping events, really demonstrating that she was someone who was really trying to find her place in the sport and was willing to sample everything to see what clicked for her. She eventually settled in as a high jump specialist and has met with great success in that event over the past 2 seasons, even establishing a school record in the high jump relay with Chloe Higgins this winter. But while Sophie has made an impact on the track, or the field to be more correct, it is the things she has done outside of this performance space that has really set Sophie apart. Nobody has done more to promote our team than Sophie, in both formal ways with her first-class social media presence and in her endless enthusiasm for our team and what we stand for. Who else would show up to the Meet of Champions, a meet she hadn't qualified for, early on a Saturday morning in Toms River to support her teammates? Here's Sophie rushing in from the parking lot and breathlessly telling me, "Have they run yet? I didn't even put on my makeup." Sophie has made being a part of this team really fun for so many people, from total newcomers to our most experienced athletes. She's the ultimate includer and will be sorely missed next year. There is no more deserving winner of the Crimson Award for Winter Track and Field than Sophie Tannen. And our award winner for the boys track and field. It is sometimes difficult to convince athletes to join the winter track team. Even though the meets are technically held indoors, most of our practices are outside in December and January and February, and everyone knows that it's going to be cold. But regardless of the weather, or whether it was during winter break or over a long weekend, absolutely the most dependable thing we had as a team, as part of our winter track and field team over the past few seasons, was Aaron Morton, trudging up the driveway around the corner of the athletic center, ready for practice with a sly smile on his face. Always one of our top runners, Aaron has seen his roles change as our team has become stronger and stronger the past few seasons. But no matter what was surrounding him, Aaron always found a way to contribute and do whatever we needed him to do to help the team. And even if he had to step outside of his comfort zone, I never once heard Aaron complain or question a workout. This winter, he played a vital role on a number of relay teams, contributing strong legs that brought the team a great deal of success, ranging from medals at the state relays to setting a new school record in the 4x200 meter relay, breaking a mark that was previously held by his brother, which I know was immensely satisfying for Aaron. Every team needs some athletes to lead by example and show everyone what true dedication means. Aaron never draws attention to himself. He just does what is asked and is willing to sacrifice for the team. Coaching a team of Aaron Mortons would be a dream come true for a coach. A deserving winner of the Crimson Award for Winter Track and Field, Aaron Morton.
Congratulations, Sophie and Aaron. Girls golf, Coach Mark Greff.
Good evening. This being my first year with the Morristown-Beard School and the girls golf program, didn't really know what to expect coming into this season, especially since the girls golf program's only about 5 or 6 years old. But when I first met our Crimson Award winner, Brooke Sandler, for the first time, one of the things I said to her was, well, how'd you guys do last year? She said, you don't want to know. I said, well, what about the year before? You don't want to know. I said, well, how many matches have you won the last 3 years? And she said, oh, 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, so I guess there's only one way to go, and that's up. So she was always a little down because I could tell that, she wasn't used to obviously winning, especially in golf matches at least. But from the moment I saw her, I knew we had a good leader on our golf team, and I knew we had a bright future with the golf program. Just by looking at her swing, being around the game as long as I have, I could tell she has what it takes. She's got the swing, she's got the attitude, she's got the temperament, and she's got the mental IQ that all us coaches look for, whether it's basketball or soccer or whatever sport. We always look for that sports IQ in an athlete. And she's definitely got it. And I can tell why she's more than a one-sport captain, just by her attitude. She always came to practice early, never missed a practice, never missed a match. She finished the season with a 47.1 average in 17 matches, including the county and the NJAC conference tournament. She came in third in the Morris County tournament, shooting a 45 at Flanders. And she came in third in the conference NJAC tournament, shooting a 46 at Farmstead Golf Course. She was named first team all-conference by the other NJAC coaches. And no, I didn't have a vote, Brooke. It was by everybody else but me. And for the first time, not only did we have a winning season, but we finished with a 16-3 record and ended up winning the Morris County tournament. So I was very proud of my team, but I was more especially proud of Brooke. And I've said this to her privately, I've said this to her parents, but she's got it. She's got the ability to go forward in golf, not just next year, but on the college ranks. If she stays with it, she definitely has the discipline. She definitely has the mental attitude. And I truly believe she can play in the next level. Brooke Sandler. Okay, you got it? Oh, that's nice. You're making it quick. What's taking you so long? Jeez. Congratulations. Congrats.
Boys soccer, Andres Colejas.
Good evening. I want to welcome all the parents, students, and faculty. I want to congratulate all tonight's award recipients and their family on this prestigious award. I also want to thank the athletic department. Everything you guys do for us all year long, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much. What Alex has lived through during his high school years is nothing short of heroic. Alex demonstrated what an incredible individual he is when he suffered a horrible back injury during his freshman year that kept him away from the athletic world for almost an entire year. He faced a lot of challenges and obstacles throughout his recovery. His hard work, perseverance, determination, and belief in himself allowed him to overcome his injury and make a full recovery. Given the severity of his injury, it would have been easy for anyone to not want to come back to the sports world, but not for Alex. When he returned, he came back stronger, faster, and determined to leave his mark on the team. He never cared to be the center of attention. He only cared about his teammates and what the team needed. His senior year, he did everything for us. He played defense, offense, and midfield. He was the most physical player on the field and gave his very best at every practice and at every game. You could never tell he had suffered such a horrific injury because how physical he was and how fierce he was on that field. He never thought about himself or being re-injured. All he thought about was his team, his teammates, and that he needed to give everything he had to help them win. He's only a senior in high school, but he behaves like an adult who has a profound sense of commitment, dedication, hard work, and leadership. Alex, you're kind, polite, selfless, and you always have a positive attitude. Everything you do with a smile on your face. I am very proud of all your accomplishments and of the leader you have become. You have a bright future ahead of you. It has been a privilege to coach you for the last couple of years. The Fall 2021 Boys Soccer Crimson Award goes to Alex Turman.
Swimming, Coach Amber Sky Green.
Good evening. This is my second year with this program, and it was amazing this year compared to last year. We actually had a team to swim against in the pool this year as opposed to last year where we had to do it virtually. The greatest moment of this season was when we went to our preps meet in Lawrenceville, and just the energy that was on the bus going to the meet and coming home was absolutely amazing, and I'm hoping that we can do some more away meets in the incoming seasons. Both of my two recipients of the Crimson Award this year demonstrated great leadership throughout the season, always giving 100% at practice, never complained about any of the events they had to swim. And at the preps meet, they did best times in all of their events, along with the team. We actually had a really great meet that time. They had an interest in every one of their teammates and applauded their successes. And they were probably the loudest on the pool deck of the team. It gives me great pleasure to announce the recipients of the 21-22 swim season for the Crimson Award is Zach Rempel and Kate Wenzel. Okay. I'll do one at a time.
Baseball, Coach John Shepard.
I want to start by thanking the athletic department, Dice K, everyone behind the scenes that no one gets a chance to see to make all this work. I'm humbled to be in the presence of such greatness. I'm privileged to be with all of you guys on a daily basis, so congratulations. A team-first mentality is the most powerful attribute a group can possess. It can be elusive quality that a quality to acquire, and once acquired, is very fragile. It requires team members to be selfless, put their desires second to the team's needs. It is why it's so elusive. It takes discipline, humility, unselfish attitude to give yourself to the team. When the team has this kind of commitment from its members, it accomplishes more than it could imagine. Following a team-first mentality is very difficult. It can fall prey to ego, negative emotions, poor attitude. Therefore, it is vital for every team to have standard bearers. Those teammates that promote the team-first mentality through their example and leadership. These young men has always served as an example to what it means to be a team-first teammates. Whether it's keeping their teammates to the practice schedule, maintaining the field, fixing the mound, or cleaning out the dugouts, or supporting their teammates. These three men have never wavered from their commitment to their team. What's more, they helped create a competitive environment that earned over 40 wins despite losing the season to COVID. And they have done all of this while maintaining their high standard in the classroom, and which is why they've earned the respect of not only their teammates and classmates, but their coaches and teachers as well. I would brag about how great players they are, but it would pale in comparison to the great young men they've become. I would like to sincerely thank their parents for the opportunity to coach you young men. Congratulations and thank you, Jordan Greenaway, Michael Scara, and Matthew Stokes.
Michael, congratulations. Oh.
Thanks, Coach. Well done.
Congrats, Jordan. Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Volleyball, Coach Mike Sturgeon.
Good evening. My name is Mike Sturgeon. I have the honor to present this year's Crimson Award for volleyball. I've been at MBS for the past 22 years, and I've had more conversations than I can count about leadership. Leadership comes in all shapes and sizes, is very tough to define, but you know it when you see it. And I saw it up close and firsthand this fall. Layla Cook walked into the gym in late August and had the team in the palm of her hands minutes later. They looked at her for advice, they looked to her for confidence, and they looked to her for energy. But the look on her face never changed. She stayed cool, calm, and collected no matter the situation. Quiet confidence is how Layla led her team. Looking back on it now, I realized that she was the key to everything we did. Layla didn't need to scream, yell, be rah-rah, or even show any emotion. Her presence in the gym and her strong yet quiet demeanor let her teammates know she was there for one reason, to support and push her team to do the best they could. In 20-some-odd years, I've never seen such confidence. I will say that there was one night that she decided to let loose. We were playing on senior night and in a tight battle. We would rotate our middles each game. During the third and deciding game, it was Layla's turn to sit. We had the benches spread out because of COVID, and she usually sat down toward the end. As everyone knows in this room, winning on senior day is a pretty big deal. We were in a tight match, and Layla's good friend, F.A. Omanzane, was having the game of her life. At some point, Layla moved herself from the end of the bench to directly behind me. I hadn't noticed, but that would soon change. F.A. had a huge block that gave us the lead, and there was this massive scream from behind me, "Let's go, F.A.!" I've never spun around so quickly in my life, and when I did, there was Layla, already sitting back down, and had that quiet yet confident look on her face. She then started to laugh along with Coach Galvez and myself. She knew it was a bit out of character, but she cared so much for her team and teammates, she couldn't hold it in anymore. There's a great quote out there, and I'm not sure who said it, but it goes, "A person who is quietly confident makes the best leader." I learned that this fall, and it is 100% true. And that trait is going to pay dividends down the road. I am pleased to present this year's Crimson Award to Layla Cook.
Congrats, Layla. Boys hockey, Coach Scott Green.
All right. Before I start, I'd just like to offer sincere congratulations to all the Crimson Award recipients here tonight. Also my fellow coaching colleagues. Obviously, they spend a lot of time, so much time and energy, really making their student athletes' time here at Morristown-Beard a positive and an impactful one. It's also great to see a few of my other guys on the boys hockey team being honored in other sports. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you to the Morristown-Beard School and the athletic department for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the boys hockey team and honor our Crimson Award winners, seniors Andrew Lowe and Will Scrow. I'd also like to quickly acknowledge and congratulate Andrew Lowe, who's raised over $250,000 over the last 4 years for his charity, Kids Ice Cancer. It's going to culminate with a charity hockey game this Sunday at 7 p.m. at Cody Ice Arena. I'd like to give Andrew a quick round of applause for that outstanding achievement. So there's really a lot I could talk about with these two guys. A lot of it would probably only just be funny for us and maybe their parents. So I rewrote my speech a few times. So hopefully what I do right, there's just so much. And this is my first time with a group for 4 years here. Started 4 years ago. So I've had these guys the privilege of coaching them. And on paper, Andrew and Will, they're two very different hockey players. Andrew's a forward. He's a two-time captain of our team. He's finished his Crimson hockey career as a top 10 all-time leading scorer in our 122-year history with 41 goals, 66 assists, and 107 points, and only 79 games played. Will's a defenseman. He finished his career with 1 assist, 1 point, and 33 games played. Again, very different players on paper, but both players fully embody what it means to be a Crimson hockey player, where it really matters, in their heart. Ironically, they're also both not the tallest guys, to say that nicely. But it's not about the size, right? It's about the heart that they have. So before I speak a little bit further about the Crimson Award winners, I'd like to share a little fable. So this story will be familiar to anyone who's read the book The Energy Bus by John Gordon. The story is about George, a hardworking, devoted family man who has fallen on hard times. His work life is in shambles as he tries to get his team ready for an important product launch, but nothing seems to be going right, and now his job's on the line. Bad luck seems to haunt George. He's lost his cheerfulness around his family, and his wife even threatens to leave him. George walks out to his car one rainy Monday morning and finds a flat tire. Just more bad luck for George, exactly what he needs. George is then forced to ride the bus to work, where he meets the bus driver, Joy, a woman of high energy and enthusiasm, and her energy bus full of cheerful passengers. At first, Joy's positive energy annoys George, but her persistent warmth and uncanny perception about his troubles slowly win George over. Joy then offers to teach George her 10 rules for a more positive life. Cautiously, George accepts. From then on, George's life is completely changed for the better. Anyone who has played on the Morristown-Beard hockey team over the past 4 seasons knows just how important the lessons from the Energy Bus are to our team. So important that after each game, our team awards a lunch pail, bus driver hat, and somehow this year a newly added gold chain. I didn't realize that until I actually won the award, so very special. So that player, basically the one that brings the most consistent work ethic and positive energy to the rink that day. Well, overall, the message and our message is very simple. We are the drivers of our bus. We are responsible for our own team's success. We keep driving forward and learn from our mistakes. We fuel our bus with positive energy, and we only have room for those who share and support our vision. We don't waste our energy on those who don't want to get on our bus. We love our passengers and everyone on the bus. We drive with purpose, which keeps us going in the right direction with energy, enthusiasm at all times. And most importantly, we enjoy the ride. You only get one bus ride, or in this instance, one high school hockey experience, so we enjoy every bump along the way. Both Andrew and Will are the energy bus drivers for our team. Every day for the last 4 years, they brought positive energy, contagious enthusiasm, and an unmatched work ethic to every single practice and game. They truly embody what it means to be a Crimson hockey player, selfless, humble, and hardworking. Andrew and Will, we've faced many challenges together. Freshman year, our team hit rock bottom. A historic worst 8-game losing streak, which really made me reconsider even coaching. Andrew would call me at night and say, it's all right, coach, we'll get one soon, don't worry. And luckily I stuck with it. Sophomore year, we started our season right where we left off, 2-game losing streak, being outscored 11-4. Junior year, we faced the uncertainty and challenges of COVID, as did everyone else. And then senior year, we were 2 games under 500, needed to win 3 out of the next 4 to qualify for states. However, because of both of your contagious positive energy and leadership, we overcame all those obstacles to have one of the most successful 4-year runs in Crimson hockey program history. During your tenure, we won 3 Men in Cup championships and reached the state quarterfinals 2 times. We went from being ranked 38th in the state your freshman year to a historic 20-win season your sophomore year and a number 4 ranking in the state of New Jersey your junior season. With our backs against the wall this year, in your senior season, we won 6 straight games, including a Menin Cup victory and a state tournament upset over Seton Hall Prep. Andrew and Will, thank you for your unwavering commitment to the boys hockey program, your teammates, your coaches, and your school. Without your relentless work ethic and consistent positive attitudes, which spread like wildfire throughout our team, none of our success would have been possible. It has been one of the greatest privileges of my coaching career to battle alongside you and watch you grow and develop into outstanding young men of integrity and fortitude. You will continue to face adversity through positivity and approach life as you did our team. In life, there will be frustrations, happy times, bad times, and highs and lows. But one thing I am certain of is that you will both prepared to keep driving your buses in the right direction. Andrew and Will.
Good job, buddy.
Quick picture.
Oh, yep, turn around. Congratulations. Boys track and field, Coach Scott McCormick.
Moving on to the outdoor portion of the track and field ceremony tonight. If the only thing that Tristan Miskid did this season was a long jump, he still would be a worthy winner of the Crimson Award. Breaking a long-standing school record, placing 3rd at the county championships, winning the conference title in the long jump, all incredible accomplishments worthy of recognition. But Tristan was also our top 400-meter runner, and our top 400-meter hurdler, and our best javelin thrower, and our best shot putter. And he probably would have been our best triple jumper if I could have found a way to fit him into a meet, into his schedule at some point during the season. And if it wasn't for a guy named Spencer Anderson that you maybe have heard of, he'd be our best 100-meter and 200-meter runner as well. The range that Tristan shows is a testament not only to his athletic ability, but his willingness to learn and grow as an athlete. Very few high school athletes show potential to be decathletes, but Tristan is one. He has not only the wide-ranging athleticism required, but the work ethic that is necessary to master 10 different track and field events and compete in them all over 2 consecutive days. Tristan often leads the way with workouts and can be a guide to others as to how they should be pushing themselves. Tristan is also a leader in the weight room, helping younger athletes with their technique, being patient, and showing them the correct form. And in recent weeks, I've had multiple long jump officials from around our area speak to me about how much they enjoyed watching him jump and the respectful demeanor and positivity he displayed while competing. One remarked, "I'm so glad that we get him back again next year," as am I. Please join me in congratulating our Spring Track and Field Crimson Award winner, Tristan Miskid.
Football, Coach Tim Fell.
Good evening. I'd like to thank our athletic department for putting on this event and let you know that it's an honor to be up here and recognize the best that our school has to offer in athletics. I'd like to congratulate all our Crimson Award winners and thank you for the great job you do representing Morristown-Beard School. Every preseason, I meet with our parents and lay out my goals for our football program. They are as follows. I'd like to give our boys a great experience playing high school football. I'd like to develop student athletes into tough-minded, mature young men. And through hard work and dedication, I'd like to win as many games as possible. This year's Crimson Award recipient embodies these goals and is everything I want in a football player and an MBS student athlete. Will Baum has grown, matured, and developed more so than any player on this year's team. This past season, we were a bit understaffed, and we did not have a defensive back coach. Will Baum became the de facto defensive back coach, and along with our middle linebacker, Will basically ran our defense on the field, making all our calls from his free safety position. His focus and hard work during the week, preparing our team for anything an opponent threw at us. Literally anything an opponent threw at us. Will's maturation as a student and athlete from 9th grade to his senior year has been outstanding. As a 9th grader, he was a bit undersized and seemed a little unsure of himself. Fast forward to his senior year, and Will is a confident and mature student athlete. Not only has Will developed into a strong and resilient student, he has also developed into a smart, hard-nosed, tough football player. When I think back to that parent meeting in August 2018, when Will was a freshman, I could not be more proud of how far he has come. As a player, as a leader, and most importantly, as a young man. I really loved having Will on our team this year and could not be more proud to honor him with this year's Crimson Football Award. Congratulations, Will Baum. This is you.
Girls ice hockey, Coach Bruce Driver.
Good evening, everyone. I'd also like to thank Joanne DeZama and Kathy Fleming for their tireless work working through the ice hockey schedule. It's 5 programs that they deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it's not always easy. I do help run Twin Oaks Ice Rink, so we're a little bit knee-deep. We had a lot of cancellations over the last couple of years, but we've certainly got through it. And congratulations to all the winners here tonight. This is the prestigious award for your sport. This year's Crimson Award winner for girls ice hockey is Leah Stecker. It's not often a coaching staff is lucky enough to have a legitimate future D1 college athlete on their roster. Leah has worked extremely hard on both her school and club teams to make this happen. Leah is a lifer at MBS, one who burst on the scene from an ice hockey standpoint in the middle school. You could tell that there was something special about her right from the moment you first saw her step on the ice. Although Leah is a tremendous athlete, she's more than just that. She's the type of athlete that coaches love to have on their team. Ability alone, Leah stands out every game, but it is the intangibles that she brings to the table that impress. Leah is hardworking, always humble, and positive. Her positive energy resonates throughout the team. There's not a day that goes by without Leah entering the rink with a smile on her face and offering a warm hello. Leah is not just an athlete, she is the full package. She represents everything it means to be a student at MBS. Leah excels in the classroom, demonstrates exemplary character, commitment, and leadership. Leah leads by example, sharing soft words of encouragement, but more importantly, through her actions both on and off the ice. John Wooden once said, "A leader's most powerful ally is his or her own example." Leaders don't just talk about doing something, they do it. Although the last 2 years have been difficult for everyone, Leah weathered through a shortened season in her junior year that saw our team only play 6 games, and an illness that took her out of commission for 1/3 of her senior year. Her absence was missed both on the ice and in the locker room, and it was not surprising that upon her return, the team began to pull it together for the stretch run. After losing to Princeton Day School without Leah in the prep tournament, the team had something to prove. All who witnessed our state championship this year saw an athlete take total command of the game. Leah took control early in the second period, scoring 4 goals and assisting on a 5th, leading us to repeat as New Jersey state champs. Oh, and as a sophomore in 2020, she only led us to victory, scoring 2 of our 3 goals in the first ever state championship game. Leah finishes her MBS career as the 8th leading scorer in history, scoring 67 goals and dishing out 62 assists for 129 points in just 60 games. The fact that she averaged 3 points per game over the last 2 seasons leads you to believe that she may have pushed for the #1 overall spot had things been different. Leah has been named First Team All-League, First Team All-Tournament, First Team All-State, and Player of the Year on more than one occasion. Needless to say, Leah has left a lasting impression not only on the ice hockey program, but at the school itself. While playing in and attaining redemption in the state final will obviously be special memories for all our girls on this year's team, as coaches, we look to Leah to see how the girls were managing their emotions. What we saw was an athlete help her teammates keep their nerves in check, do everything she could to help her team win, and finally watch the pure joy on her face while lifting the championship trophy. She brought the team back together, which showed everyone how important her presence was to the team. We will miss Leah. MBS will miss Leah, but we wish her well in all that Penn State has to offer. It is my pleasure to congratulate and present this year's Crimson Award winner for girls ice hockey, Leah Stecker.
Boys lacrosse, Coach Kevin Meany.
Good evening. 2022 Boys Lacrosse Crimson Award goes to Charlie Guida. Boys lacrosse had a tough season. 5-12, not a great record. But you'd never know that watching Charlie play in the fourth quarter of any game this year. It didn't matter who we were playing, what the score was. We could be up 15, we could be down 10. Didn't matter. Charlie played it out to the last whistle, regardless of the score. As a senior captain, he set the tone and was an excellent example to his younger teammates. Our website explains the Crimson Award is given to current students who display excellent character and best exemplify the principles, standards, and ideals of MBS. They encourage their teammates and cheer others on as these athletes are dedicated to seeing their teams win, but also have a consistently positive attitude even when the games are lost. I think that's a pretty darn good description of Charlie Guida. Charlie covered the opposing team's best left-handed attackman each game. He was a huge part of clearing the ball for us. He played on our extra man unit. He faced off when we were struggling. He was our 4th leading scorer and led the team with 90 ground balls as a defenseman. He did all that was asked and with a positive attitude. Charlie was recognized by opposing coaches too. He was 2nd team All-NJAC, 2nd team All-Bianchi, 2nd team All-Prep B. Charlie will be attending Hun School next fall. Hopes to play lacrosse in college. It is with great pleasure I recognize Charles Guida as the 2022 Boys Lacrosse Crimson Award winner.
Field hockey, Coach Kate Russo.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to present the 2021-22 Field Hockey Crimson Award. Tally Hess was unrelenting in the defense for us this season. Anytime we were under pressure, she quickly got us out of it with one of her game-saving block tackles, deadly sweeps, or a pinpoint accurate drive. Tally played with such a calm and intelligent disposition, and there were many times I'd be left amazed by how she could suddenly appear from nowhere to win the ball from the unsuspecting opposition. During tough games, Tally would never shy away from the challenge. Instead, she would take it upon herself to carry the team, set the standard in terms of effort, and remain the consistent presence that everyone could look to for reassurance. Tally always took ownership of her game. She never complained or gave excuses. Instead, she did whatever was needed to support her teammates and get the job done. But Tally's presence off the field was just as powerful this season. Her compassionate leadership helped to ensure every player felt valued. She used a blend of integrity, kindness, and respect, and inspired us all through her honest and hardworking values. Through the ups and downs of the season, Tally's positive and uplifting encouragement didn't falter. She'd be the first to celebrate the accomplishments of her teammates with a smile, cheer, and a warm hug, and she remained the solid, unwavering rock that they could all rely on. But today, Tally, we get to celebrate you. The positive effect you've had on our team is simply immeasurable. Not only have you proven that you have what it takes to play against the best, but on every level, you display all the attributes of a true athlete. I know you will accomplish great things at SMU next year, and I hope they know how lucky they are to have you. It is for these reasons and many more that you have rightfully earned our Field Hockey Crimson Award. Congratulations, Tally.
Skiing, Coach Lucas Massey.
So 4 years ago, Nick came out and said, hey, skiing sounds fun. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fun. And I had that same idea. It was my first year here at MBS. So we kind of came up through this together. Neither of us having done it through here before. I'd only coached elsewhere. Nick had never done ski racing here. And we grew through this program together, and it was a lot of fun. We had our ups and downs. We had some assistant coaches leave. We had my best asset, my other assistant coach, Kathy, leave, but we got her back, so it's all good. We had COVID. We had other more different COVID. We had 2 of the warmest winters on record, which as a ski team is great. We are very familiar with the heat illness exam that we have to take. We used to joke that it was silly for skiing. Not so much these days. But this is really about Nick, so I want to go through a couple anecdotes that I've had with Nick that kind of exemplify why he is a Crimson Award winner. So one of the greatest things for a coach is an athlete who wants to learn, who wants to be there. Especially with skiing, it's kind of a unusual athletic sport, right? It's not one of the standard buckets. Not every school has one. Like I said, a lot of people come into this and have no idea what ski racing is. A little bit of background. We race 6 people on a team. 4 of them are scored together. We combine their times, and that's how we compete against other schools. So there's your crash course. But Nick was kind of like a sponge. He came out, went, hey, this is actually kind of fun, and just always wanted to do more, do better. It was every single run he came down the course, Coach, what can I do? And we hear that a lot, Coach, how was that run? And a lot of times it's just like, yeah, thanks, all right. I'm not really interested in it. They just kind of want to get that next lap in. But Nick would sit there and be like, okay, I have to do better next run. What is it? What do I have to do? And being an engineer and kind of having that little nerdy background, we got into some really deep conversations, probably too deep at times, about technical ski racing and how to be a better skier to be a better ski racer. And that's, as a coach, that's phenomenal, having someone that you can really invest in and you're gonna get it all back. Nick gave it back in spades. His team recognized that. This year we were debating whether or not we could really make Nick a coach, or a captain, I'm sorry. There was a lot of opinions that he'd do well and the team really liked him. But I have a number of common phrases while I'm coaching. Nice run, watch that inside hand, and where's Nick? Because Nick is not always punctual, occasionally absent with no warning, but never once was it malicious or because he didn't want to be here. And that really, that carried through the team. There was no question at all when we came back for this season whether or not Nick was captain. It was Nick's captain, no questions, we're going. And we saw that throughout the season, that Nick was a captain. Everything he did for the team, and the team looked up to him, which is not always easy when you're just a couple years apart, and you're there for our season, which is really kind of condensed into about 8 weeks. I think this year it was almost closer to 6. Nick is always level-headed. Even when teammates were kind of getting upset, or they had a great day, bad day, they'd go off the rails. Sometimes they'd just have a fit. That was a terrible run. How did I make such a stupid mistake? Nick was kind of like, it's all right, we got another one. We'll get back in it. So I want to leave you with one little another anecdote. So Nick is deserving of this award in every way that Kathy ran through earlier. But I want to poke fun at him one last time because I get to, and I won't get to do this again next year. Nick frequently, in addition to being maybe a little tardy, would also forget things. Gloves, helmet, jacket, pants. He forgot his boots once, which for an equivalent, that's like a lacrosse player forgetting their stick, or maybe like a track player or a track runner forgetting their cleats. It's kind of like the thing, So one of the things that came up time and time again was socks. So in addition to this award that he's clearly earned, I also wanted to leave him with a pair of my socks so that he will never have cold feet again. Come on up.
He's actually not here.
Okay. I saw his pants.
Yeah, he's not.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, how fitting is that, right?
He's taking a family friend to a prom. Lucas, you're so better.
Thank you. Here, there you go. Yes. Thank you to Mrs. Johnson for accepting that award. Girls lacrosse. Girls lacrosse coach Maria Grant.
Good evening. On behalf of the entire girls lacrosse team and all of its coaches, I'd like to congratulate each and every one of the award winners this evening. This award is truly a great honor, and we are all very proud of you. Tonight, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to acknowledge and honor two very special, outstanding members of Morristown-Baird's girls lacrosse team. Both girls are equally deserving of being recognized as Crimson Award winners this evening. When the coaching staff was asked to select one of our members of our program to receive this distinguished award, it was impossible for us to differentiate between these two girls from one another relative to the core meaning of this award. Both of our recipients are genuine ambassadors of Morristown-Baird's core values of personal responsibility, resiliency, integrity, engagement, tenacity, independence of mind, humor, and humility. Both girls place a huge emphasis on the importance of our school community and beyond. They serve as good mentors and role models for underclassmen to emulate, and they have set a high standard of excellence for all underclassmen to follow. They are the epitome of what it is to be a good teammate. As a good teammate, they know how their own personal goals fit into the larger picture of the meaning of team, and they do not have any competing priorities. The mathematical equation of we over me always equals team under every circumstance for these two girls. They have a clear understanding of their own ability and how that fits into the needs and overall goals for our team. They are committed, remain flexible, as circumstances are dynamic and ever-changing during the season. They are engaged in all practices and in games. These are true characteristics that define someone befitting of Crimson Award winner. Senior Annie Sherman is one of our recipients this evening. She is an incredible individual. Each day she arrived at practice exuding a positive energy, and I mean exuding. Annie always had a huge smile on her face, and I mean huge. No matter how cold it was, and it was very cold this spring, no matter how hot it was the last few days of the spring, or how rainy it was, which was almost every day of the spring, and greeted everyone that crossed her path with an energetic, meaningful, and authentic hello. Annie always placed the needs of the team first, and on so many occasions during the season, no matter what she was asked to do by the coaching staff, with an enthusiastic, positive response, Annie would always say, "Okay, coach, I'll play wherever you want. I'm fine with that." If she needed to miss a practice, she was quick to follow up with our captains so that she could gain an understanding of the concepts, strategies, and tactics that were covered during that time. Not many players would do that. She is one of our hardest working players on our team and was determined to improve every practice with the idea that she'll make a positive impact on our program. Throughout the entire season, Annie was a motivating factor for our team, both on and off the field. Her positivity and hardworking attitude while at practice and during a game was impressive. Annie's time on the field was limited this season, but even when Annie wasn't competing, she was a very supportive teammate on the sideline in a very positive, vocal way. When we lost, Annie always had something encouraging to say in the huddle at the conclusion of the game. Many student athletes would not respond in this mature manner. She clearly defines what it is to be a great teammate, student athlete, role model for younger players, and she clearly displays all the characteristics of someone recognized as a Crimson Award winner. Tonight, I am very pleased to recognize Annie Sherman as a Crimson Award winner representing the girls lacrosse team at Morristown-Beard. Please join me in recognizing Ann Sherman as a deserving winner of this distinctive award.
Thank you so much.
I am also exceptionally proud to present to you this evening our second recipient of the Crimson Award, junior Skylar Reale. Skylar is an outstanding teammate, mentor, and role model to all of her teammates. She takes the underclassmen under her wing, helps explain segments of a drill, meaningful concepts relative to tactics and strategies, and provides positive feedback to everyone around her. Skylar sets an example for others by practicing the way an athlete needs to play in a game. She is a relentless competitor with fierce determination focused not on herself, but for the good of the team. Her positive and again relentless work ethic and desire to improve as a player and increase her ability to compete is contagious, and that contagiousness passes on to all of her teammates. Her ability to raise her level of play at each and every practice that we have ultimately led to the overall improvement of our team and its success this season. Like Annie, Skylar always places the needs of her team before her own. She's a very talented all-around athlete who intends on playing basketball in college. To accomplish this, Skylar plays basketball on an AAU team that practices multiple times per week and competes in tournaments on the weekend. However, despite her personal aspirations to play basketball at the next level, Skylar places the needs of the 2022 lacrosse team ahead of her own basketball team. Often, she missed key practices for her basketball team to make sure she was at our practices and attended games. She battled through many painful injuries during the season, and despite the level of pain it discovered she was feeling, during that time she maintained her positive attitude and continued to make a significant and meaningful contribution to the team. She never let anyone know how much pain she was in. Through her pain, she was a brick wall on our defensive end. Good luck beating her. Her strong leadership and dedication on our team created a solid foundation to which the success of our team was built on this spring. And tonight, I am very proud to recognize Skylar Reale as a Crimson Award winner representing the girls lacrosse team at Morristown-Beard. Please join me in recognizing Skylar Reale. Thank you.
Cross country, Coach Gary Chan.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you to Joanne and Kathy for everything that they've done for me, every annoying question that I've asked, even though there were probably multiple every day. I cannot say how much I appreciate you. And congratulations to every other Crimson Award winner. This fall was my first time as a head coach ever, so needless to say, I was extremely nervous, but our two cross-country Crimson Award winners, Will Kuppenheimer and Kate Wenzel, made my first day feel like I've been doing it for years. So I wanted to say thank you so much to those two. I'm going to start with Will. And as I was saying, as a first-time head coach, my head was spinning. I was thinking about scheduling, I was thinking about workouts, I was thinking about team camaraderie, team culture, and I didn't know where to start. But luckily, from what I saw from Will, he ran every day in the blistering heat, 5 miles, 6 miles, 8 miles, and he never complained one time. He literally set gigantic goals for everyone to strive towards. And he took his team captain role extremely seriously, and I can't appreciate or can't thank him much for that. As I would race from my school to here, he would have warm-ups done on time, and he would have everyone doing exactly what they needed to do. He was always in the lead, and he would always do the right thing. He continued to prove every single meet, and he ended up on second team all-conference, so that was awesome for him to achieve that. In addition to his awesome running, he was a fantastic cheerleader for everyone on the team. He was enthusiastic, and he brought everyone with him. He is absolutely infectious to watch. He's so much fun to be around, and he is going to be fantastic next year. I am so excited to present the award to Will Kuppenheim. Thank you. And the second award is for Kate. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet Kate, I have 2 words to describe her, and it's unbridled enthusiasm. And she's also very loud, but in the best kind of way. She was one of my team captains, and I really do think after just coaching her, she's forever changed my definition of what a captain is and what it will be for the rest of my time. From the first day that I met her, she was an absolute ray of sunshine. She always smiled, put others before herself, and she would cheer her heart out for her teammates. I truly believe that Kate was the glue for the entire cross-country team. In the beginning of the season, there were 32 kids who weren't exactly sure how everything would go, And after the end of the first week, Kate brought all of them together and we became a small family. So it was absolutely fantastic to watch it all happen and have her be the reason why our team was so close. Unfortunately, Kate did get injured halfway through the season, so she wasn't allowed to run as much as she wanted to. But even though she was injured, I could tell how much cross-country it meant to her, because she would always be the first person to show up on the bus. She would never skip a meet to rest. She would literally hobble all over the course just to cheer her teammates on. I think I lost a lot of my hearing just standing next to her at the end of the finish line, but I'm gonna miss it so much next year. I really am. I really hope you come back one day next year, blow my eardrum out, and continue to cheer for the rest of our team. I'm very pleased to present the award to Kate Wenzel. I've heard it through on the second floor. It's incredible. Perfect, thank you.
Kate was our winner for the swim team, so imagine that in the pool deck. It was impressive. Girls basketball, Coach Mike Sturgeon.
Good evening. My name is still Mike Sturgeon, and I have the honor of presenting this year's Crimson Award for girls basketball. One of my favorite quotes is from Vince Lombardi, and it reads, "Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit." It sounds weird to start a speech this way, but there's a reason why. Oftentimes, when instant success isn't met, many tend to quit for one reason or another, whether it's too hard, takes too much time, or they aren't willing to take the risk associated with success and failure. This year's winners of the Crimson Award never gave up, and quitting was not in their vocabulary. Both were four-year varsity letter winners in the girls' basketball program. Both ended up being starters and captains for the varsity team this year. But the path was anything but smooth. Kirsten Harvitt and Phoebe Merrigan both made the varsity team as freshmen. That team ended up 28-3 and won the Morris County tournament. Both girls enjoyed the view from the bench. They were freshmen on a great team and knew they had to keep working to get on the court. The next year was a similar story. 20-win team, minimal playing time. Each day they showed up and practiced like they were a starter. They challenged everyone around them and never showed signs of displeasure with their playing time or role. It's tough to put forth 100% each day and not see the results when it comes to playing time. They both did it and did it as well as anyone ever has. Junior year was a similar story, although there was some more playing time, but it was minimal at best. Yet again, they showed up every day and never complained. They knew their role and they knew the value that it had. They really didn't realize how important they were to the team and the program and how this was going to help them in the long run. This year, they were both named captains, and they were handed probably the toughest task ever. A brand new roster with only one returning starter. Most people figured we would quote unquote rebuild, not Phoebe and Kirsten. They knew their hard work and dedication to the program were not going to be wasted. They pushed us to a winning season, something very few people thought we could do. Phoebe, Kirsten, I'm sure the first 3 years weren't as smooth as I made them out to be. There was probably frustration. You may have questioned, why am I even doing this? You may have, but you never showed it. You never quit. You never took a day off, even when playing on one leg all season. I commend you for that. You have taught everybody here a valuable lesson. You never allowed quitting to become a habit, and I think it paid off. Your leadership pushed us over the top, and your legacy will remain forever. Congratulations, Kirsten Harvitt and Phoebe Merrigan. She all right? Congrats, kid. Good job.
Boys tennis and Coach Brian Marr.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. This is all I'm thinking about as I'm watching Ian Michelle play in the second round of counties. He's playing a kid from Hanover Park, and all of a sudden he's down 7-2. And how did we get to 7-2? Well, his opponent showed up about 20 minutes late, so every other second round match had already started. His opponent has a game that doesn't match up well with Ian's. Ian likes a heavy hitter. He likes pace. He likes to absorb that power. This kid throws a lot of junk. He slices. He hits underspin. He gives you just anything you really don't want to see on a tennis court. And he's down 7-2. So we get to the 7-2 changeover, and Ian comes up to the fence, and I said, what am I going to say to him? I said, Ian, you can do this. It doesn't happen often, but you can come back from 2-7, all right? The New York Rangers were down in every game that they played against the Penguins in the first round of the playoffs, and they came back, and they took that series in 7. And he's a Rangers fan, so I was hoping this would resonate with him. So I said, let's chip away here, win a few games, see where we go. So he does. He wins a few games. We get to 7-4. He's down a couple match points. I look at Brett. I'm thinking, all right, this is it. He saves those match points. He chips away a little more. He gets to 7-6. He's down another match point. He saved that match point. He gets to 7-all. He gets to a tiebreaker. They battle back and forth in the tiebreaker. He gets down a couple more match points. He saves those. After saving 5 match points, the kid wins 11-9 in the tiebreaker to move on to the quarterfinals. A lot of what we talk about as coaches are character building, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes there's character building whether you win or lose. And that's a lot of what Ian had to face this year. His previous year, he had only played doubles, mostly second doubles for our program. But because of a few different things that happened, some injuries, he steps into the second single spot. Not an easy spot to step in for a tennis program because everybody's got a strong number one. That's a given. You hope your number one can win 50% of their matches, but you want a solid number two. You want a guy that can hold it down and win and be consistent for the program. Well, Ian finished 10-4 this season. He had double wins against Kinnelon, Parsippany, Mountain Lakes. He beat Montville, he beat Madison, he beat Gill, he beat Seton Hall Prep. He went 1-1 in counties, he went 1-1 in states. But he held it down for us, and he did a phenomenal job of being consistent and persevering every single day when he wasn't even expecting to play that number two single spot. Finally, though, and I want to be real for a second, I shouldn't be the one up here giving this speech. The person who should be giving this speech is in this room, but he asked me to give it. We can all agree that when you're trying to handle a parent-child coaching-player relationship, it's not always easy. And one of the toughest parts of that is that you always don't have a clear sense of what the reality of the situation is. As much as Ian Michelle and Brett Michelle want to be player-coach, they're always going to see each other as father-son at the end of the day. But I will say this, Brett, you've handled it better than anybody I've ever seen, and you've set an example for what I want to be to my two daughters when they grow up. Now, how did Brett handle this? He kept it to the big picture. He kept it to the basics. He said, Ian, let's move our feet. Let's hit through the ball. I don't care if you win or lose. I just want you to win or lose playing the right way. But it goes beyond the court, off the court, the interactions between Brett and Ian, before matches, during matches, after matches. They talk to each other. They have deep conversations. It's like you would never think that there's any tension between them whatsoever, which is pretty amazing because they are also coach-player in this situation. While Brett deserves to be the one giving this speech, I am so grateful to have the opportunity to share in this moment between the two of you. And now going back to Ian one more time. He's a New York Rangers fan. One time in a post-game press conference, Henrik Lundqvist said, you know, I just push myself to be the best I can be every day. I want people to look at me, and I want them to see a good player, and I want them to appreciate what I do. Well, Ian, I'm not just speaking on behalf of myself, but I'm speaking on behalf of your teammates, on behalf of your coaches, and on behalf of Morristown-Beard. Thank you, and we appreciate everything you've done for the program this year. Come on up.
Girls soccer, Coach Morgan Dungy.
The word I previously used to describe the 2021 girls soccer season was flexible. We endured flexibility in game scheduling, flexible practice times, field space, and flexibility with coaching changes that to the girls seemed to happen overnight. Through all the ups and downs of the season, one person seemed to bring steadiness to the ever-changing environments. She displayed commitment, motivation, drive, and sportsmanship, both on and off the field, both to herself and her teammates. It's no surprise that this student, as a rising senior, is not receiving her first Crimson Award in her high school career or tonight. Brooks is not an uncommon story in the cards she was dealt as an athlete, battling back from countless injuries. But what is uncommon in some high school athletes is the way she approached her comeback. Brooke never let her commitment to the team, her motivation for her teammates, or her school spirit waver. Whether it was helping set up for practices, cheering on the girls and coaching from the sideline, or the positive attitude she had when we discussed her return to play plan, Brooke was always a leader. She was selfless in knowing her limits with her injury and wanting other players to play their best when she was out. She was an integral part in keeping the positive spirit of her teammates up, from the locker room to the bus rides and everything in between. On the field, Brooke was a force to be reckoned with. She was a strong midfielder, a quick defender, and this season added in a shutout goalie to her resume. She stepped up to play multiple positions without hesitation when asked, and is an exciting player to watch on the field. It is without question as to why she was voted by her teammates as a 2022 captain, and I look forward to seeing what she will accomplish in her senior year. The Fall 2021 Girls Crimson Soccer Award goes to Brooke Sandler.
Congratulations. Boys basketball, Coach Tim Fell.
Good evening again. I would be remiss if I did not mention how honored I am to have the opportunity to speak twice about our athletes here at Morristown-Beard. It is an absolute privilege and honor to teach and coach here. I want to thank our administrations here tonight to appreciate all that they've done for our school, our student athletes, and our faculty. As the most talented player on this year's basketball team, it would have been easy for Jaron Afalo to do things his own way, especially as our team has struggled. But with Jaron, it was the exact opposite. As our team went through a lot of adversity on the court, and Jaron certainly had every opportunity to do things the way he wanted to. He was by far our best player. But to his credit, he cared more about his teammates and us winning than anything else. I think about practices when Jaron would push upperclassmen to improve and work harder, and yet at the same time, he could nurture and support our less experienced players and teach them how to compete and become better players. Jaron played every game with the same intensity, whether it was close in the fourth quarter or we were getting blown out. Every time I took him out, he looked at me and pleaded for me to put him back in. Coach, just 2 more minutes, come on. And he demanded that same effort and enthusiasm of his teammates. It was a privilege to watch him play. There were times during the season that I knew Jaron was hurting. Physically, yes, but even more so emotionally. And yet he never let it show. I think that's what I am most proud of, was his inner fortitude and resolve. It is very, I don't want to say easy to lead, but it's certainly more comfortable to lead when things are going well. Jaron did not have that luxury this past winter. And I don't know if I've ever seen better and more leadership under such adverse circumstances as what Jaron did for our basketball team this past winter. He was the absolute glue that kept us together. And I can honestly say I don't think I could have done it without him. For that, I thank you, Jaron, and it is truly my honor to award this year's Basketball Crimson Award to Jaron Afalo. Congratulations. You guys doing okay?
Girls track and field, Coach Scott McCormick.
The athletic department gives like a bonus for how many speeches you give, so that's why I try and do this as much as possible. 4 years ago, we had a freshman on our team who just had an incredible amount of drive. Jamia White would stay late at practice, putting her spikes on, just doing rep after rep of hurdles, working on mastering the technique and getting faster and smoother over the hurdles. She showed a great deal of promise, and I was excited to see what she could do during her career. Then, as we all know, spring sports were lost to the pandemic the following spring, so it wasn't until her junior year that Jamia really got to spend time continuing to master her craft. She had a good season and made a nice breakthrough at the end of her junior year to get into the 18-second range for the 100-meter hurdles, a very respectable performance, which she coupled with our team's top mark in javelin, an impressive range of technical events. Then came senior year, and Jamia has reached a new level, even though she was held together by a significant amount of KT tape through most of the season. Midway through the season, she blasted into the 17-second range in hurdles. And then, by the conference meet, she was running in the 16-second range and placing third in our conference. Simply an incredible improvement, both this season and leading up to it, and a testament to Jamia's tireless work ethic and dedication to improvement. Jamia is a great advocate for her teammates and is willing to be both a leader and a supporter during practice and at meets. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do as a coach is to tell Jamia that the 100-meter hurdles at our state championships will happen at 10:30 a.m. on the morning of graduation, putting her in the position of making a choice with no acceptable outcome. To see the opportunity to race at states this season taken away from her in her senior year when she has made so much progress this season was simply heartbreaking. And I completely understand Jamia's frustration at being put in that situation. However, because of her wide range of skills and abilities, there are other things that she can do at the meet on Friday. And in the grand scheme of things, there is so much more to celebrate about Jamia's work on the track and in the field than there is to be disappointed about. So please join me in congratulating Jamia White for an outstanding career and in earning the Spring Crimson Track and Field Award.
Boys golf, Coach Michael Leo.
Good evening, everyone. And it's already been said, but thank you to the athletic department, fellow coaches, students, parents. Congratulations to all the winners tonight. And thanks for the opportunity just to say a few words about this year's Crimson Award winner for boys golf. I have awarded a few Crimson Awards in my time here at MBS, but when Joanne sent the vignette detailing the criteria for picking the winner, I decided to read it over a few times as I wasn't actually quite sure who I planned on picking. The line that reads, "The student best exemplifies the standards and ideals of Morristown-Beard School," stood out to me. I'm not a teacher here, but I figured I knew basically what those ideals were, though I decided to dig a little bit deeper, so I pulled up the school website and clicked on the mission statement. Here were the values listed: personal responsibility, awareness of diverse perspectives, engagement, tenacity, independent thought, humor, and humility. I sat for about a minute, and immediately I knew the winner. Golf itself covers about half of those traits. Personal responsibility, well, golf is the ultimate teacher there. All your shots count. There's no mulligans in high school golf or conceded 3-foot putts. There's no timeouts. There's no substitutions. Once you tee off, you're pretty much on your own. There are rarely officials. Your opponent keeps your score. Essentially, there's nowhere to hide. And when things are going poorly, a golf match can be quite an uncomfortable place to be. Anyone who has played knows that you'd better have a sense of humor, and that if you get a bit ahead of yourself, the game will certainly humble you. The golf team here doesn't have too many rules. We just try to impress upon the kids how important it is to do the right thing, and in most cases, we can all agree on what that is in any given situation. That's Dylan. Always on time, never missed a practice or a match, always present with a positive attitude, there to help one of the underclassmen when need be. Sports can obviously teach many valuable lessons, some cliche, others not as much. What's really the point of high school golf? I think it's just to expose kids to a game they can use the rest of their lives while giving them a great opportunity to compete at a high level and be part of a close-knit team. Certainly we want to win matches and championships. Ultimately, though, I'd rather the kids win at life. As I always tell them, be good at golf, but be great at life. For a young man, Dylan is certainly on his way. I'll remember the conversations we had on the way to matches, never about golf, often about history or current events or soccer or some other random topic that happened to be on the agenda that day. On our last suburban ride, we were discussing economics and the Federal Reserve. I actually have no idea what the other kids in the Suburban were possibly thinking. I'd like to just share 2 quick stories that I think best exemplify the spirit of the award and why Dylan is our winner. Here's a word-for-word exchange we had earlier this year when I asked him if he wanted to play in the prep tournament. Me: have you given any more thought to playing Thursday? Dylan: as much as I'd like to play, I've been absolutely terrible. For the betterment of the team, I think it would be a good idea if I didn't play. Me: I understand. Golf isn't much fun when you're struggling. It's completely up to you, and I don't really care what you shoot. Dylan: For the team's sake, I think I'll just sit this one out. Unfortunately for Dylan, we actually won that day. So he didn't play that day. He put the team first. But a few weeks later, he did play in the conference tournament, as I told him I actually needed him to play this time, and this time he didn't hesitate. He was in a group marshaled by the Parsippany coach, who I consider a good friend. Our groups crossed paths after about 7 holes, and I asked the coach how Dylan was doing. He said, he's struggling, but what a great kid. I've been talking with him all the way up and down the fairways all day long. And I quote, I wish all kids could act this way. Yep, he really said that. Most kids would be sulking and muttering to themselves if they were playing poorly, blaming the course or their clubs or some other unknown reason. Not Dylan. When the Parsippany coach looks back on that day, he will have no idea what Dylan's score was, but he will certainly remember what a great kid he was and how well he represented the school. Ultimately, isn't that the point of all this? Gain some valuable experiences and exposure to different ideas. Figure out where to point your ethical compass. These are the things that matter. As Dylan heads to college, he leaves Morristown-Beard with these things in his back pocket. This year's Crimson Award winner for boys golf is Dylan Strauss.
Congrats, Dylan. Thank you.
And to close out our coach speeches, softball, Coach Kevin McDonald.
We made it. One more bag back there, right? Yeah, good. It is my pleasure to present the Softball Crimson Award to Haley Belfiore. Haley has been the starting pitcher for the softball team for the past 2 seasons, and she's pitched a total of 181 innings out of a possible 194. That's some 4,000 pitches over the last 2 years. Needless to say, it was her job to go out there each and every game to compete and give our team the best chance to win. Over the course of those 2 seasons, she's had some great performances, including beating our conference rival Boonton twice last year, pitching to a semifinal victory in the Preps against MKA, and shutting out St. Elizabeth's in one of her last games of the season this year. Even in our defeats, she was always willing to go out to the circle and compete until the very end, bloody finger and all. It wasn't only her performance and competitiveness that has garnered her this award. It has been her leadership and support for her teammates that has stood out to me and the coaching staff. You see, Haley has played more softball games than some of our starters combined, and she had a choice to make when it came to be what kind of leader she would be. She could have looked the other way in frustration and only care about herself, or take each opportunity and try to make her teammates feel supported and coached up whenever they struggled. I say coached up because that's what she was on the field for me. She was a coach out there, always telling our players where to go with the ball. She was really just an extension of the coaching staff on the field. Just another example of how well she knows the game of softball. Finally, it was a Saturday practice in May that truly convinced me that Haley deserved this award. I had invited my 10-year-old daughter, Morgan, to come to practice with me. She had just started her own season, and I thought it would be good for her to come see the high schoolers practice. She was so nervous at first, but Haley went out of her way and invited Morgan to have a catch with her. After that, they took ground balls together, hit in the cage, and even worked on pitching. It turned out to be a great experience for Morgan, and all because of Haley. Morgan said to me, "Haley made me feel like I was part of the team and made me really confident." It was a special moment for me, and I really appreciate it. I know that Haley will go on to do great things in her future, but I want to take this opportunity to thank her for the great things that she has done for me, my family, and the softball team. Congratulations, Haley.
Thank you to all of our coaches. At this time, I have the honor to present our head of school, Miss Liz Morrison.
Good evening and congratulations to all of our Crimson Award winners. It's hard to believe that we're at the end of the year. It seems as if it were just yesterday that I was sitting and having ice cream with some of our preseason athletes, asking them about athletics at Morristown-Beard. What was their favorite game? Who's a rival? What's fun about playing sports at MBS? It's always fun to celebrate athletic achievement, and more specifically and importantly, sportsmanship. It's also important to appreciate the time, the effort, and the sacrifice that achieving these goals requires. Through participation, I hope that all of you athletes have learned the value of teamwork, discipline, humility, and grit. One of my favorite quotes from Coach John Wooden is that sports do not build character, they reveal it. We all like to win, and it's really easy to feel good about yourself, your teammates, and your coach when you're winning. But that's too simple, and it doesn't really require much work or character. It's during the down moments, the times when your team is in a slump, that's when you're really tested. How do you walk away from a loss with pride and dignity when the other team was just better? How do you find the motivation to regroup and to stay positive when you should have won but you played poorly? In life, as you've heard tonight, you'll win some and you'll lose some. So being able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and turn it around is such a powerful skill, and it was evident from everything that I heard tonight that you all have that ability. To each of you here tonight who put on an MBS uniform and you went out and you competed with intensity, with focus, and with sportsmanship, thank you. While talent is important, the best teams are made up of the best athletes, and to be considered a best athlete, you have to have more than talent. You have to have sportsmanship, and you have to have a respect and a sense of team. You are that player who makes everyone around you better as you strive to improve yourself. You are that player who puts the needs of the team above your own goals and your own desires. You are the player who is reliable and always shows up, even when sometimes it means missing something that's personally significant. You are that player who plays out of position because it may be better for the team, or who cheers from the sideline because you understand that every role on a team is equally important. Congratulations to all the Crimson Award winners, and thank you for your contributions. It really has been an incredible athletic year. To those graduating, good luck, and get on a team in college, and intramural sports counts. To those returning, I look forward to seeing you back at it next fall and continuing the tradition of athletic excellence at MBS. In conclusion, I want to thank the coaches who have put in hours to develop the athletes and plan meaningful practices. To the athletes, your coaches have pushed you, they've supported you, they've cared for you. They have given you an incredible gift that you might not appreciate for until years to come. I would also like to thank Ms. DeZama, Ms. Fleming, Dice K, maintenance, and all who make our athletic program run, and our parents and families. Without all of these people, our athletic program would not be able to happen, and our athletes would not have had the experiences that they had this year. So congratulations and good evening.
Thank you. At this time, I would just like to invite you to join our reception in Founders Hall lobby for some dessert and coffee, and to stick around and take some photos. Thank you to Steve Patchett for coming out tonight to do that. Thank you and have a great evening.